Green Spring. I'm Bob Zakowicz, your host. Here we are already into the middle of January. It's January 14th. And it's my pleasure to introduce Ben Cornthwaite. Good morning, sir.
Morning, Bob. How are you this morning?
I'm fine. It's nice to have you with us this morning.
It's great to be back.
You're going to introduce someone to us. Who did you bring with you today?
You know, it's amazing when you say it's the middle of January, but it's always great to get the new year kicked off on the right foot, and I think this morning is very fitting accordingly. So, we're here to announce our January 2016 Shining Star of the Month, and I have with me a lovely woman by the name of Ruth Kahns. And Ruth works with us in our dining services team. She's a dining services associate over in Garden Ridge and works part-time for us, but in the time that she works makes a very, very large impact. So she's been with us a little over a year. I think you celebrated your 1-year anniversary in November, and but Ruth is just a wonderful person that we hear so many great things about. I'll read you the quick quotation before we get to pick her brain.
Please do.
So this came as a nomination from a resident, which is always even more impactful. But the resident said, "She speaks to every resident. She often compliments and asks about grandchildren, admires a pretty dress or compliments a hairdo. Often she will break into a song or dance. When this group exits the dining room, they are a changed crowd. Smiles and happy faces on each resident, laughing and talking. What a wonderful woman Ruth is." So it's those small things that make such a big difference in people's lives.
You made the comment about she has an impact. By golly, one of the residents over there, or one of the clients, certainly was impacted by you, Ruth. And that's why you're sitting in that chair today.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So tell us, what do you love about your job, Ruth, and you know, share some with the community.
About my job, I love to come in every day, 4 o'clock, and just prepare for the dining room. And as soon as the ladies start seeing that picking on the door, if I'm there, they come and just ask me, "Can we sit down?" And you know, just see you doing what you're doing. I said, "Sure," because actually, I don't know really if I'm breaking the law, but I let them sit down on the dining room, and by the time I'm doing my cooking or whatever I'm doing, I'm start talking to them and share things about life, and it just makes me so very happy that they have somebody to talk to, you know, when they need to, and that's one of the highlights of my job. See how.
Ruth, if I may say, you know, some people over there at Garden Ridge are having a bad time, health-wise. And if you can walk into their presence with a big smile and you want to help them out, it must mean so much to the residents and the clients over at Green Spring. And that's a feather in your cap. And may I say, please continue to do that.
Oh, I will, believe me. Every day I find something different to do for them so that I can see that smile and happiness on them. That means a lot to me.
Wonderful.
So, and Ruth is even known for, you know, after the service is over, so after the meal service has been completed, that she'll take some time to go around and just visit people, and
really?
just you know, remarkable. As simple as that is, that's a very powerful statement, as you had mentioned. It really makes a positive impact in people's lives. But you know, Ruth is no stranger to the dining world. She's you know, worked for many years in the dining services circles throughout the local area, really, and you know, we're so thankful to have a person like her on our staff that is here making a difference every single day.
Thank you.
So congratulations and thank you.
Well, let's get back and get into your background. Now, Ben said that you have been in dining services for years. When did you get started, and what started you in this?
Well, I moved from California here back on 83, and then I changed my career to the food service. I started working on hotels and restaurants. I worked for the guest services for the same restaurant for 23 years.
Oh, really?
And I was a bartender then. Then I worked for the White House, for the Capitol Hill, and
Did you say White House?
yes, and the House of Congress, the dining room of the House
Really?
of Congress, yes. And I did a lot of work in embassies and, you know, all catering, and so that's why I'm so very used to deal with people of all kinds, and I love it, and it just, I would not change what I've done all my life for anything, because I
So-
like people. I'm a people's person.
Ben, she came to us with some high credentials.
Indeed.
Congress and the White House, it's wonderful. And I'm sure you're applying those same outlooks that you had at the White House or Congress here at Garden Ridge.
Yes, more contact with human beings. You know, it's just it's a different crowd of people, but it's just that I do the same like I would do for anybody. You know, always trying to be 100% best at my knowledge.
So Ruth, what do you like to do in your downtime when you get away from work? How do you spend your downtime?
Well, actually, in my downtime, I do a lot of volunteer for the school of my grandchildren. I do a lot of Spanish teaching and you know, help them out around the school, doing a lot of activities for the children. Yes, and then I would like to volunteer here. I was trying to look into the volunteering here because there's a lot of the girls say, Ruthie, can you come tomorrow and, you know, do my nails or just read a book or something like that. But I'm not, I don't think I'm just, I have to have a class or something. That's the farthest of my knowledge. So I'm trying to get a little bit, you know, getting on that class so I can come in on my spare time and see the girls and, you know, be.
You are working currently, obviously, in Garden Ridge. What are your specific duties at Garden Ridge that puts you in so much contact with all of the clients or most of the clients in Garden Ridge?
I feed them. I do that all that dinner time. I do a lot of. I do most of the feeding for them on nights. I serve on the dining room and be sure that they have the proper meal they had, and you know there's a lot of they have the drinks and it's all food service. Yeah.
Do you also, would you assist a patient in feeding herself?
No, I wish
don't do that.
wish I can learn to do that. I'm probably going to get into that and you know, go to a class or something I need to do, because some of them they look at me like, you know, why don't you do it to me? So I'm, because they, you know, I spoil them so a great deal, so they always say, you know, why don't you, can you feed me? I was like, no, I'm sorry. But I try to, you know, if I see that they having a problem cutting the meat or something, so I always be sure I don't, you know, sometimes some other people, they give the drinks all full, and I keep saying, you know, don't fill it up because, you know, they just.
It's hard to manage it,
Let's
right?
do it
Yeah.
in a halfway, you know, in a way they can. So I'm just looking after them, you know.
So Bob, in each of the dining rooms in Garden Ridge, there are, rather than having wait staff persons, we've got the dining team and the nursing team that provide the meal service for residents there. And so Ruth is one of those team members, but clearly just goes above and beyond and, you know, connecting and making the relationship. So it's more than just the work, it sounds like.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. For me, it's more than just the work. I'm just please them, you know, and the best of my knowledge.
That's great.
Ben, I have a question for you.
Sure.
Shining Star of the Month. Is there a monetary reward that goes along with the accolades?
There is.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm not going to ask so much.
That
That is certainly a goal to shoot for.
Yeah, it's great, and if you or other residents are ever interested in nominating you know, an employee that just goes above and beyond, similar to Ruth or others, you know, there's an opportunity to do so. We welcome that, and as you know, it's just a powerful testament to those that are going above and beyond. The most, you know, most often we hear the greatest source of recognition is to be able to be celebrated, and although the monetary gift is a small token of appreciation, it's really about just saying, hey, thanks for recognizing the work that I'm doing and making a difference here in the community. So for that, we very much dearly appreciate the work that you're doing, Ruth, and
Thank you.
and continue to wish you well, and
Right.
Thank you.
look forward to expanding that here if that's your interest.
I second the motion.
Yeah.
I have been told that we are out of time. Sad to say. It's been so interesting, Ruth, chatting with you. And Ben, I thank you for bringing Ruth over here with you, and it's always a pleasure to see you.
Thank you for letting me share her with the community.